This morning on today's 101, so can you trust what you see on any given day, even if you just scan the internet for mere minutes? Your brain can digest hundreds of images, but in our digital world, any one or maybe all of those images could have been manipulated. So how do you know what's real and what's not?
The simple reality is digital media is incredibly malleable. That's its vulnerability, is that you can cross over that line. What is a little scary about these digital manipulations is that you can't really take them back.
At first glance, Hani Farid appears to be just like any other Dartmouth College professor. But he's also one of the best photo forgers around.
Here's a photograph that was recently released by Interpol.
And the creator of a new academic field called digital forensics. With software he developed, Hani is hired by courts of law, news organizations, even intelligence agencies to play digital detective and determine which photos are real and which are fakes.
So what happens now when you go into a court of law during a malpractice case and somebody introduces as evidence a digital x-ray? Well, the other side of the aisle can say, well, how do we know that's authentic? How do we know you didn't actually miss the tumor and you simply photoshopped it out so that you're not being found accountable for this? It's an interesting question. Another example, almost everybody's cell phone now has a camera associated with it, so we are all being photographed wildly in the public spaces. Imagine you're sitting at a cafe and somebody takes a picture of you with somebody other than your spouse and sends that in. How do you know it's real? How do you know it hasn't been manipulated?
Hani says many manipulations aren't that sinister. For years, magazines have touched up cover photos of models and celebrities. But who decides when a line has been crossed?
On the left here is a photograph that Reuters published during the one of the latest Israeli-Lebanese conflicts. It shows the remnants of a bomb that had hit in a Lebanese town and the smoke billowing. On the right is the actual original photograph that was taken and, as you can see, was digitally manipulated. When does it stop becoming photojournalism and starts becoming art?
Beyond that, Hani warns even once he spots a tampered image, the damage has already been done. Not only will it stay online, it will stay on your mind.
There's literature in the psychology community that says if you show images to people that are fake, and even if you tell them that they are fake, they remember it more likely than if you didn't show them the image.
The best advice Hani can give is to take any image with a grain of salt.
We don't want to sort of destroy the pleasure of the visual imagery around us and our ability to read and understand, but I think some amount of skepticism and some amount of restraint and jumping to a conclusion is probably all that's necessary.
Even when you are bounty fishing, like one of his clients.
It's an online company where you pay a small fee, you go fishing, you try to catch the biggest fish in your class, you win a prize. And so, but you don't ship the fish. What you do is you take a bunch of pictures of the fish. So I guess what I'm doing is I'm ruining the story. It was this big for men all over the country.
Hani Farid, good morning, welcome. We wanted to point out how you can actually spot fake photos, and I had some stuff with me. I just grabbed some of my happy snaps, and maybe you remember during the MTV Awards, Britney Spears, dance. Well, I actually had to fill in for one of her background dancers. So here, this is Britney, and so they snapped off one of the shots. One of my friends got me actually in the background dancing with her. So there was that one. Actually,
how do we know that is a fake?
Yeah. How do we know?
Right, so this was a fun one to create, and one of the ways that we use...
She's so repulsed by you. It could be real.
The eyes are a wonderful aspect for doing digital forensics, and that is that you see in the eyes a reflection of the light in the room. So you see the small white dots in her eyes here,
right,
which are a reflection of light.
And David doesn't have.
And you see he does. Now, I would have normally added those in when I create a forgery, but I intentionally left them on.
So, yeah, okay. Now, the other one was, you remember when Paris Hilton got out of jail? Yeah, out of prison. Yeah. Her mom wanted to be there, but it was just kind of weird, and she couldn't be there. You can tell she wanted to. So I actually went out there, and I think there's somebody got a little picture, giving her a little hug. So, so how do we tell this one is a fake?
Well, right, except for the woman's arms. Besides that,
no one here picked up on that.
lighting is also a very powerful cue here. So here we are. There's a door, obviously. There's a paparazzi on the outside. And what you notice, though, is that you're being lit from your left-hand side, which is essentially from the front seat.
Right.
And you can see that here, her arm here, your arm rather, is bright, and the hand is actually a little bit dark. So based on the shading and the shadows, you can generally get a sense of where the lighting is.
Yeah.
Now here it's very obvious. The lighting is completely wrong. But we've actually written mathematical algorithms that can actually measure these things very precisely.
But you can also easily correct this so that you would believe without a doubt that that's David.
Yeah, again, I've actually left this intentionally with a cue, but yeah, we can fix a lot of those types of deviations.
Plus, I wouldn't wear a red sweater that short. Hany Farid, thank you very much.